This is Life's a Pitch TV. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lackens, all about hearing. Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year, Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation. Oh, brilliant. 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 You caught me doing that. You don't need G'ing up, do you? No. Welcome along to this week's edition of Life's a Pitch TV. I'm your host, Mark Murphy, and let me introduce you to, well, a very slimmed down team this week. But we do have Terry Butcher, Russell Osman, no Chambo, but in his place is Ed Sheeran sitting over there, just filling the space up. So no Chambo tonight. Also, we've got Mark and John on technicals, and Richard.
Don't forget Richard.
Fine. Give me a chance.
Yeah, right.
Big cheer for Richard. No Leslie, our floor manager, or no assistant floor manager Sarah either. And in honour of the Paul Lambert era, we've closed the Churchman stand because we've only got enough people to fill the North stand tonight. So let's give them a big round of applause anyway. The John Keeble Cars sponsoring Churchman's. Hooray! Filling up the North Stand, sponsored by Ashford Wright. It is the North Stand. Fantastic. So it's quality, not quantity, that we have on the show this evening. It's just a few days before Christmas, and everybody's got something else to do, it seems, apart from us.
Have they? Fair play.
Got no invites to go anywhere else, have we?
No.
Billy, no mates.
Been there, done that.
Billy, no invites.
Yes, I know. But welcome anyway, crowd. You're going to work extra hard tonight, aren't you? It does remind me of like the COVID days, as Tony was saying earlier on with this, or the McCarthy or Lambert days when there's hardly any crowd here.
Yeah, that was awful, wasn't it? Well, this will be brilliant, but that was awful.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Look, can we just start the show off by saying get well soon, Simon Milton, who was taken ill on Sunday in the director's box. He's at home now, and he's recovering, and he's asked for privacy, etc. But we all want to wish him all the very best for his recovery. So I think a round of applause for Milts would be very appropriate, because he's an absolute stalwart of the club.
He is, and it was horrible. We were very close to him and to other ex-players, and to see him in that state and to see him the way he was wow. It just sort of blew your mind. We didn't care about the football. We just wanted him to get better. And
puts everything into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah, the medics were there quick, and they put up the blankets so no one could see. But well, our hearts were in our mouths because we were fearing the worst, to be honest. But thankfully, he's recovered, and we need him, and we need people like that obviously give money to charities and raise money to charities, particularly in Ghana with Milts, and also with the foundation and being a club ambassador as well. So we all send him our best wishes.
So get well soon, Milts. We'll get you back on the show whenever you're fit and healthy to come back, but hopefully it won't be too long before you're back at Portman Road. We have to talk about what happened last Sunday. We were all there. Big crowd again, expectant, and we go ahead and you think, oh, here we go, first home win of the season, but wasn't to be, Russ, was it?
Disappointing, wasn't it? A good start, good goal, some nice football, but you just worry about the situation towards the end of the game where, again, we not only lose one goal late on in, about the 89th minute, and then another one 5 or 6 minutes later to rob us of all 3 points. It's a bit of a concern, and no matter what the manager tells the players, they have to deal with that situation on the pitch as it happens, and there must be guidelines for them that the coaching staff all talk them through, and they practice, how to manage the game, how to manage out the final 10-15 minutes of a game, whether they're winning, whether they're losing, but they've got to eliminate these individual mistakes that's costing them poorly, you know, and that's it. But I'm sure they're still working on it, and I'm sure they will get it right.
They'll certainly be analysing it, won't they? Because they'll be hurting as much as we were, if not more. So,
yeah,
what do
I
you
mean,
think,
you watch it once, you start analysing.
Yeah,
simple as that.
We should have had the second goal. I mean, I've watched it several times. I'm sure everybody else has. And there were a lot of fouls going on in the box at the time. And then he just picks on, I think it was Delap on the goalkeeper, or maybe even the challenge by Burgess to score the goal. But that would have been 2-0, completely different story.
Pathetic decision. Really,
it was an awful decision, and we've been lumbered with these awful decisions for some time now. And it's just not working out for us.
But they're being checked by VAR, aren't
well,
they?
that doesn't mean a thing, come on.
Well, that's what it was there for, wasn't it?
It does mean a thing because it is allowed, but, you know, it can be...
But if they did it properly, Mark, there would be a free kick at every corner and every set piece, either for the attackers or the defenders. And you could use VAR for that and just say VAR just points out which offence that you want to highlight. You know, there's offences go on at every set piece.
I think they have a coin at Stockley Park and they just toss it up, and wherever it lands, that's the decision. I think it looks as though it's like that.
Well, it feels like a one-headed coin for us at the moment, doesn't it?
It does. But you know, we had the chances, and you sort of think, well, you're robbed. They're a good team. There's no doubt about it. There's some very good players, and they pressed very quickly. Their fitness levels were high, but we were coping with that. And when it gets to the latter stages of a game, you have a decision to make as a manager, whether to stick or twist, really, whether you go for the second goal and make it 2-0 and then obviously win the game, or do you say, right, we're not going to score, we're just going to sit back, possibly play 5 defenders, play 4 midfield players, play 1 up front, and just defend with for your lives.
And that scenario changes depending on how long the game has still got to go. So you might have a game plan between the 65th minute and like the 80th minute, and then that game plan changes again from the 85th minute through to the end of the game. So it's all hands to the pump.
We've all done it as managers. We've all done it and just say, right, we're just going to have to defend. And it generally works out because you defend like mad. The attacking team get frustrated, and you see the game out, and there's nothing better for that. And sometimes you've got to win games like that. But the substitutions coming on later, you could see the players had put so much into the game. You sort of think, go on. If that was me, go on. I'd put a couple on, 2 or 3 on, possibly 2 defenders.
Let's come to that in a moment and analyse that a little bit. But let's take it chronologically if we can. Chappers scoring a goal for him, fabulous for him. Scored in all the leagues now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's one of the few, isn't he, that has done it? Yeah.
He's a great striker of the ball, and it was super play from Cameron Burgess to...
What would you have done in that position if the ball had fallen to you on your right foot and you got a shot at goal? Would you have squared it?
I'd have put it through the keeper's legs.
I'd have smashed it,
yeah. So probably Cameron Burgess is not as confident in front of goal as we were. So he's used his brain. He's seen Chappers there. I'm sure Chappers was letting him know that he was available. And Chappers swears a nut,
I think he should bounce the ball a bit more before it goes to Chappers, don't you? But Chappers did ever so well. I mean, he's only small, isn't he? But he got right over the top of it.
He knows where the goal is instinctively, doesn't he?
It was a sweet strike as well. And the keeper no chance. And that was a wonderful sight to see. And I thought he played very well in the game as well.
Yeah, he's very good.
When he's featured this season, he has played well, hasn't he?
He has.
He has.
Every time.
Yeah.
It seems it's just natural that Chappers should be out there and playing, because a lot of things revolve around him. The wide men get the ball off him. He's a good executioner of the pass. He breaks quickly with the ball. He can see things very, very clearly on the pitch. And even, for a small player, he gets involved a lot. And he's in the box, and he's still a threat when it comes to set
Twice
pieces.
he's been our player of the match.
Yeah. We were watching him during, I think it was the first half, just before half time, and Graham Keeble alongside me were just saying, and Mark, how involved he is in the game. Every free kick he's asking the referee why it's gone that way. Every decision that's gone against him, he'll just have a word with the referee, and he has a bit of banter with him. The next thing you know, he's talking to the right back about how he could have played the inside pass to him, or he's talking to Murray Hutchinson, or he's having a little pop at the skipper, or he's saying something. He's non-stop. He's involved in the game for 90 minutes. from the moment it kicks off to the moment it finishes, you know, and he's got a good footballing brain. And I'd like to see him in there week in, week out.
You pointed this out, I think, last season. When Chapper scores, he takes an eternity to walk back into his own half, doesn't he? He just, you know, he's not tired or anything. He's just like soaking it up and everything else, and he just goes back in, and you know, it's good to see. At first it was frustrating because you think like, hurry up, you little chap, you know, come on, move it.
He's giving everybody time to reorganise themselves,
exactly,
get locked in again. Right, we've scored. We will resume play when I get back.
Yes, that's great that he does that, because he's not in his own half. Referee can't restart the game. But when I was over in Australia with the team, we played in New Zealand, and we scored a goal to make it 1-0, and the players all rushed over to the dugouts, and they were in their own half. They were in their own half, no, except for one player, defender, and he couldn't be bothered. Like we weren't bothered when we played. So they've all gone over to the dugout side. So you've got virtually 9 or 10 players over there, and the referee restarts the game, and they're all on the side, nearly on the sidelines. So you've got 1 against 9 or 10, and our one won the ball. So luckily, I gave him a rise, I think, later on, but he won the ball, and we got away with it. Wow, I've never seen that before. But the referee just said, look, you're all in your own half. They can restart the game. And they did.
So if the one had have stepped off the pitch and had nobody on the pitch, would he have been allowed to restart the game then?
No, I don't think so, no. But because they were stupidly on the pitch, and I call them stupid because I'm not their manager anymore, but what was it? A nightmare. It was a nightmare. I was raging at the referee, but the referee was right, technically right.
I've got some stats on Connor Chaplin from the Renegade stat man who's been in touch. He says Connor Chaplin's goal against Bournemouth was his 55th goal for Town and moved him into Ipswich's all-time top 20 goal scorers chart.
Oh, fair play.
He now sits alongside Darren Bent and James Scowcroft in joint 19th place. Chaplin's 55th goal came in his 160th appearance, quicker than Daryl Murphy, Chris Kiwomya and Pablo to reach their 55 goal mark, although not as fast as somebody else. So who do you think was the fastest Ipswich Town player to get to 55 goals? How many appearances? Who was that? Who would that player be, do you think, as you look back in history? The fastest to get to 55.
I didn't know I'd get a quiz question here. I'm getting one later on.
You are, yeah. You've got a lot of catching up.
I think I'll get this wrong as well.
Go on.
Mariner.
Marcus Stewart.
Ted Phillips.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, Ted Phillips. Ted Phillips, who scored his 55th goal in only his 63rd appearance for the club.
So he just won it then, yeah. Fair play.
So astonishing speed for his goals. But, I mean, that just goes to show how valuable Chappers has been since he signed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wonderful. I mean, for him not to be in the team at the start, you sort of think, well, you know, come on, let's he's the one that knits everything together with the team.
He's got a very good footballing brain.
Very good, yeah. Very good.
Now, Bournemouth come out
it's a small brain, but it's got a very good one.
You can say that, Terry. I couldn't possibly. Bournemouth come out the traps really quickly, don't they? And we more than contained them in the first half. I thought we had a really good first half, and
well, we were not
bad.
I thought Johnson struggled a little bit.
Yeah,
at right back. I thought we looked a little bit weak down that side, and they kept trying to get. Was it Semenya involved on the ball there? Wide left player who was causing 1 or 2 problems down there, and we never really got a grip of that. There's a couple of occasions that the left back, who's a very good player, the number 3 obviously, he got in the box a couple of times and caused us a few problems, and I think we rode a luck a little bit down that side.
Okay. Well, Terry, you touched on it, that Kieran normally has a game plan, doesn't he, to change players much earlier than he did on Sunday, and I think it was fairly obvious certainly to me, and I know many others that I've spoken to as well, that Delap was on his knees after about 50, 60 minutes, and Johnson was struggling, so should he have made changes earlier? Yeah,
but there's sometimes as a manager as well that you look at things and you're happy with the situation. You're really happy that things are going well and that things are, looking good. And you sort of think, well, just keep it going a little bit longer. Just keep it going a little bit longer. And then, there does come a stage when you have to make a decision. But I think it's not so much about what like for like and one for one. It's about a sort of tactical switch. You know, I'm looking from our ex-players and ex-managers and all that sort of thing, where maybe by changing the system, you then change the substitutes a little bit earlier. Now, I'm not saying on 60 or 70 minutes. I'm saying a little bit later, if you're going to let them run their course. So if they're out on their feet, then you have to make a decision, and it's like for like, and you're not going to defend for your lives. So it's about the system. The system dictates the substitutes when you get to that stage. But as a manager, you have lots of options, and you're sort of governed by the flow of the game, how the game's going, and how do you think? Because they did hit a point in the second half, Bournemouth, where they seemed to run out of ideas. They seemed to lose a little bit of confidence, and then he made the switches, their manager, which he's going to do, and that sort of affected the game a little bit. They upped their tempo, and then it became a case of, well, maybe he should have gone for that sort of defensive approach. But look, as a manager, you not sort of gamble, but you make choices that you think are the right things at that time. And he hasn't made many bad decisions, has he? He's made a lot of good ones.
No, but he's coming up against managers of a better quality than he was up against in the last two leagues.
And teams of a better quality as well. I mean, there's some excellent players from the teams that we've seen. Really, really good players. And the difference now you think the difference between the Championship and the Premier League is a lot bigger than people think, because there's a lot of quality there and a lot of good managers as well.
Yeah, we were just talking with Tony before we started. Going from League One into the Championship is a big step. Going from the Championship into the Premier League is like trying to jump up 3 steps. That's the difference, in my opinion.
But the frustrating thing is we've not been steamrolled, we've not been battered, we've played well, we've played some good football at times, just can't seem to get that over the line.
I think, Mark, that we've got to be careful, because we're trying to get a settled side that can play week in, week out, and we're going into the January window, and if we spend some money and bring another 2, 3, 4 players in, then obviously those players have got to have time to settle in. And does that disrupt us a little bit? Or I know they're very careful in the type of player that they will bring in, and they'll be aware of all this. It's just one of those other little problems on the horizon.
Well, I'm now going to tackle the elephant in the room. It's not me. I know I've put a bit of weight on, but it's not me. I'll say that before you did, Butch. Muric. So last week, we gave him...
I didn't.
No, you didn't. Frank Yallop and Chambo gave him man of the match.
Yeah.
This week, what on earth was he doing coming out of his goal in the way that he did for that first goal for Bournemouth?
Do you want to start? I think he just started a rush of blood. He made a decision, and it was the wrong decision. And I think if he'd have stayed where he was, then possibly would have seen the attack off. He might have made a save, but it wouldn't have been such a mistake as it was.
But even then, when he does rush out and the ball's played in behind him, Cameron Burgess, who had an excellent game on Sunday, he had the opportunity to clear it, but he tried to let the ball run across him and then play it away. But the pace of the ball took it past him very quickly. Had he gone to it to meet it with his right foot, well, that might have been a different story. He might have put it in his own net. I don't know, but that's a different story. And even then, when the player heads the ball, he has a chance to clear it, and the header's not particularly great either. So it was just one of those, it's like 1, 2, 3 incidents which could have prevented a goal, but didn't. And when you lose a goal like that, it kills you, doesn't it? It really, it knocks the stuffing right out of you, because you thought, well, we should have cleared that, we should have cleared that, but it didn't work. So, but Muric, I'm not too sure if the relationship between the players and the goalkeeper is a good one. Judging by what I'm looking at. I've been very critical tonight, because at the end of the day, you have to say it.
You have to call it as you see it.
You have to say it, because we've been there, we've done it, we've made these mistakes. The team hasn't done well, not like this, and we've been in that position before, so we're well aware of it. But we want them to be better. But it was just so, it wasn't, laughable. It certainly wasn't laughable, but it was preventable. And then obviously the second goal was...
He seems very quiet to me, Terry. You know, he doesn't seem to command the 18-yard box with his voice. I don't see him talking to his back four much in the way the game is going in general. I used to like to be able to hear my goalkeeper for 90 minutes because I could then tell where he was, how far away from me he was, without even having to look at him. If he was talking to me and telling me to push up a little bit, or go left, or go right, or drop off, I could gauge by the volume or the sound of him whereabouts he was, whether he was in his 18-yard box, without having to keep spinning around and having a look. And it made life a lot easier, and I don't see that sort of relationship with him and his back four at the moment. I think he's a quiet fella in general, so
I think it's going to be tough for Kieran to leave him out, but easy at the same time, if you see what I mean. No, tough because he's got Christian Walton, who hasn't played the first game and hasn't been involved, sort of thing, and he's going to come in sort of raw and a bit with the unknown, and what's it going to be like, and the pace of the game is going to be really quick compared to what he's been training with. So you see, might be a tendency to say, well, look, I'll give him another chance.
I mean, how many more chances does he have?
Well, that's right, but he has made. To be fair, he has made a lot of good saves as well.
Yes, he has, but he's also been responsible for quite a few goals. Yeah,
but that's a goalkeeper, isn't it? Unfortunately, that's the way you have to be. But he's not. You see, he's not a Allison or an Edison. He's nothing like that. But he's still an international goalkeeper. But you sort of think, what does he do, Kieran? So I would probably say now's the time to do it. But
I think he deserves a chance, Christian Walton, because one injury at the start of last season meant that he missed the whole of the season. If he hadn't have had that injury, he probably would have been the starting keeper for the majority of the season. So, nothing stays the same. He's hoping to get a chance now. He played against, Liverpool and Wimbledon. Did he play the Wimbledon game? So he's a decent keeper. He uses the ball quite well with his feet. That's always got to be a bit of an issue.
It's a really difficult decision to make, though, isn't it?
It is.
But a lot of the fans have already made it for Kieran. They want Muric to step aside and give Walton a chance. Should we ask our fans in the North Stand?
Yeah, go on.
Hands up if you like Walton in goal at the weekend. Hands up if you like Muric in goal at the weekend. Okay, there we are.
There we go. Simple.
Yeah.
Walton.
But no,
decision made.
Good night, John boy.
It is hard, but that's football. That's what he's paid the big bucks to do. Do the club look at that situation, and if it doesn't improve, then they go out and get somebody in January. All these decisions are just.
Well, there's certainly money there, isn't there? They're not short of money.
But the key is to the defenders. Defend better. Make sure that no balls come through, they get no chances, and sniff them out and work as a unit, and stop the opposition from getting that far. Simple as that.
Okay, well, here's the chance to decide on who was the player of the week. It's sponsored by the Dove in Ipswich. I think I know who you're going to go for, both being central defenders. Russell.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't bet on it with Russell.
No. Jack Taylor.
Oh, okay. Okay, Terry.
Cameron Burgess.
That's who I was.
He's a left-footed centre back, and that'll do really.
So Cam Burgess.
He got up before the game, yeah. No, he didn't really.
He's got a coin.
I mean, just pick up on him for a moment.
A coin.
He must have been bitterly disappointed at the start of the season to not really feature. Through injuries and whatever, he's got into the side, and actually he's been playing very well, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yes.
He's been playing well, and he's been having a snap at one or two of the players, which I like to see. Because he takes it personally. And he wants things to be better. And when there's a mistake, he doesn't mind having a few words with his teammates, and I think we need a little bit more of that from one or two of the other players as well. They've got to show a little bit more passion and a bit more desire about it, or maybe not that, but it'd be nice to see one or two of them really try and dig it out at the moment.
And Taylor did that on Sunday.
Taylor, I thought, started very well. His first ball was just a bouncing ball that he just clipped down the line over the top, and he was very positive, and he looked quick and up for the game, and he had a couple of strikes at goal. He's a good striker of the ball. I like him. He's a good athlete.
Okay.
But Cameron Burgess, for me, he did well in the game. But he hasn't, as you say, he didn't start, but he has started because of injuries. Now, the injury situation is that Town is second in the days lost this season when it comes to players. Brighton are the ones that have suffered the most. Town have suffered the second most. And that disrupts a lot of rhythm, doesn't it? It disrupts your centre-back partnerships. There's been lots of changes at centre-back, in the back four, and particularly up front as well with the injury to George Hurst. So the injury situation hasn't helped for a fledgling team in the Premier League, along with the big boys. Inevitably you're going to end up roughly in this situation. So get the players back fit, and they're going to stop training as well. And they train very intense, don't they? So I think they're going to ease that down a little bit as well with the games over the Boxing Day.
Yeah, they're going thick and fast, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, we've got Ogbene as well. Remember, he had the Achilles injury that's kept him out for a while. So, and you just think if he'd have been fit and healthy and starting to get more confidence in the side, then that gives you another dimension down that right. But
funny you should mention him. I'm going to talk about him in a little while because he's going to be a special guest at our Christmas dinner next week.
Lovely.
So more details to come on that. So Taylor or Burgess? Okay, shall we ask the capacity crowd?
Yes, go on.
Okay, so who thinks Cameron Burgess? Put your hand up. Okay, Jack Taylor. Cameron Burgess is the player of the week. Give him a big round of applause. Well done. I knew that you'd go for him.
Aussie lovers.
Did you? Well, I got one quiz right anyway. That's
well done, Terry.
Yeah,
well done.
You can have a point for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get
Give me
a
a
free
point.
point.
Give me a point, please.
So, talking about our Christmas dinner, which is our next show, our Christmas show, special guest already booked in, Matt Holland. And we found out today that the club also are sending along Chidozie Ogbene to join us on the night. There are 20 tickets left. Don't miss out on what is going to be a fabulous night. Have you all got your tickets in the crowd? Yeah, some of them have. Go to www.lifesapitch.tv and the Christmas dinner thing is on there. It's a Christmas dinner. There's the show, Christmas dinner. We'll do a bit of fundraising, do a Q&A with you guys and the other legends who are going to be there. So Chidozie Ogbene and Matt Holland joining Chambo, Terry and Russell for our Christmas show on Monday. But you must book now if you want to come along. Don't leave it and think on Monday, I'd quite like to go to that. It'll be too late. So there's only 20 tickets left. So www.lifesapitch.tv. You can also book and choose to come to one of our filming sessions here in our studio. Just go on Capacity Crowd and we can book you in for the new year. And there's merch on there as well. Should be a good show. We've enjoyed the last two we've done in the Big Willow Suite at Venue 16, haven't we?
Yeah, been very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good suite. It's very, very nice.
The
food's good.
The favourite moment, and we haven't got fireworks this time, I don't think. But my favourite moment was when Phil Ham was sitting on stage. Do you remember Phil Ham?
Phil
he used to sit behind this bar. Evening Phil. One of the, but they're not fireworks, are they? They're sort of cold metal that looks like fireworks going up. But one was right up his arse. Deliberately.
You're allowed to say that?
Yeah, I have now. I think that's allowed. And also I've had a message from Neil Prentice, who's put together the amazing George Burley book, which is incredible. He says, could you please let your audience know that the final order date when we can guarantee postal delivery in time for Christmas is Tuesday the 17th of December. Then at the event on Monday, he will have a few copies with him as well you can purchase on the night. This includes around 5 of the much sought after collector's edition copies, which have got certificates in and autographs from George Burley. So it's a fantastic book, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I've
Very
seen
good
it. I was in Ipswich last week having a walk round, and in nearly every store I went in, the book was there.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, it's selling really well.
Just saw George everywhere, which was brilliant.
Yeah. Get well soon as well, George, because he's still battling his illness at the moment, isn't he? So you can pick them up on Monday night, or you can order by Tuesday to get those. You can get those through our website as well. we're talking now about a new sponsor for the West Stand of Portman Road. Lots of people still call it the Pioneer Stand. It's been the East of England Co-op Stand. More recently, the Magnus Stand. Who else am I missing? Britannia Stand.
Britannia, blimey.
Magnus. That's all, isn't it, I think, over the years? I don't think we've had any others. You fancy getting a bit of money together and having a little chip in, everybody? See if we can get the Life's a Pitch stand?
Yeah, why not? I'll have a look down the back of this sofa.
Yeah, it's probably a bit. I'd look down that one where all the guests sit.
It's bigger. Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Obviously, it's money for the club, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, these are the things that you want as a football club. You get your sponsors and this additional money and everything like that. So yeah, it is. And who knows how much it would take to get it?
Certainly a lot more than it has before, I think.
Well, yeah, obviously, yeah, because it's Premier League. But yeah, it'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're a long way down. Well, they're going to announce it, aren't they? I think they know, don't they?
At some point, I think. Yeah, I haven't heard it announced yet.
Yeah.
So was it the West Stand when you were playing, and then became the Pioneer Stand? Was that the first sponsorship deal? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was that like in those days? Because that was quite a fledgling kind of thing, wasn't it?
Well, the part with the Pioneers, with the sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah, but it was all different. But it was sort of revolutionary in many aspects. But it was enjoyable because they were nice people. They came over, and I think we struggled the first season, or we were struggling, weren't we? And then, but no, they were very good sponsors. The only thing they said was, if you please, when we come and see you at the end of the season, please, you must be either top of the league going to win the league, or in a relegation battle. If you're in between, then it's boring. We don't want to see it. We want the other two. We were like, well, we just want the top one. That's all.
Get on telly a bit more.
Yeah. Is that the Japanese people?
They were, yeah.
They were, yeah.
Yeah. And did you get free stereos?
Yes, we did. I think we got one each at the start of the season.
Yep.
And then occasionally, I think it was a Man of the Match award. There might be an extra Pioneer ghetto blaster thrown in.
We
or
touched on
something
this
like
last
that.
week, didn't we? Because I said last week that the Beat bought a lot of the stereos off some of the younger players cheaply and knocked them out the back of a car, I think, to get a bit of cash. He told me one day.
I can't believe that.
That's the
Well,
beat.
That's not. That's the beat. That's the beat. The beat.
Straight out of the horse's mouth, that was.
It was huge. It was huge. It was bigger than Connor Chaplin, so I mean, it was huge. But I mean,
It's one of these big stack systems, was it?
big stack system, yeah. But it had everything on there. It was great.
Yeah.
And part of the deal was the shirt as well, I suppose.
Yeah, the Pioneer.
The shirt deal, the gear was good. Yeah, I remember I got some big speakers, which I think I saw separately. It was magnificent, though. It was a great system, and I wish I kept it, to be honest, because you could play vinyl,
I know.
LPs and stuff like that.
All coming back, isn't it? All coming around.
Yeah. Wish I'd have kept it.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see who they go with, won't it? And Ed's coming off the shirts as well, isn't he, at some point?
Yeah, which would be a shame because he's tasted success, and the club's tasted success with him there. It'll be a shame, but it'll be a collector's item, really, I suppose.
Yeah, perhaps there'll be another singer or artist going there, Jane McDonald or somebody.
No. No. We'd actually pay her not to come on.
Sorry, Jane, if you're watching.
Yeah.
I quite like
I'm
her
not.
shows.
I'm not. No.
She share crews with you, does she?
No, she didn't share a cruise with me. No. I'd have jumped off if she had.
Oh, Terry, come on. Right, it is time now for you to try and get a point back, though, because it is time for Ask the Legends, sponsored by Seckford Golf Club. So the boys are getting out their little pads, ready to write their answers on. Tony's here from Seckford Golf Club with a nice, for those listening, a nice Christmas sweatshirt, isn't it? With Kieran McKenna with a blue hat on. Merry Christmas with Kieran on the front there. Very smart. And that was a gift, wasn't it?
It was indeed, yeah, and I don't know who sent it to me.
Just turned up on the doorstep.
Yeah.
It was addressed to you, was it?
Yes.
Okay. Not going around picking
Well, I
up
opened
parcels.
it anyway, and it's mine now.
Oh, well, that's good.
Didn't have one your size, Tony, no. Didn't have your size.
No. Thanks for that, Russ.
Yeah.
Right, Terry, see if I can help you this week.
What's the scores? Is it 11.5, 6.5? Yes, it must be because you're both quiet. So 11.5 to Russell and 6.5 to Terry. Or did you want an extra point for what you said earlier?
Yeah, give him a point.
We'll give you 7.5.
Go on, hit me, Tony. Come on, hit it.
Sympathy. All right, you don't want it then? Okay. 11 and a half,
Okay.
6 and a half. What have we got?
I'm taking you guys back to Boxing Day, 1980. 21-year-olds, you were together in defence, playing Norwich City.
Boo!
We won 2-0.
Hooray!
What was the attendance?
Ooh. Oh, dear. This is when it goes quiet. And
This is at Portman Road.
a bit huffing and puffing.
Yeah, I made sure I watched the highlights.
Yes. Boxing Day win against Norwich, hey? Fantastic.
And you'd gone on 15-game unbeaten run on before that,
Oh,
I
right.
think it was.
Okay.
Well, obviously, you can remember that too.
Yeah. So I think Terry's got an answer. And
Well, I have an answer, but it won't be right. so.
Russell, have you? Yeah. Okie dokie. So the question again, Tony, is Boxing Day 1980.
Yep.
Ipswich Town 2, Norwich City 0.
Whee!
Yeah. Yes, right.
Come on, keep up.
Should we do that again? Ipswich Town 2, Norwich City 0. 21-year-olds Butcher and Osman in central defence. What was the attendance? Shall we go? Terry, do you want to go first to get it over with?
Yeah, well, I'll go first, but
Okay.
26,500.
26,500. Okay. Russell. 28,500. What's your maths like, Tony? Because mine's crap.
Without a pen, I'm not very good. The attendance was 27,890.
So who's the closest out of you two then? Out of that,
I think he.
Well,
Russell.
I'm only
Yeah. I
was
think
it
he's
10, 100,
600 and something.
1,000.
yeah. Okay. It's another point to Russell Osman.
Thanks, Tony.
See, you could have had an extra point tonight, Terry, but you threw it away.
Well, I think then I'm getting closer because that's the closest I've ever been in
That's a good guess.
in this quiz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who scored the goals?
Well, I know. Do you know?
Do you
No.
know?
What do you mean you don't know? You played in it.
Yeah, I know, but
Mariner.
No.
Walking Gates.
Walk in Brazil.
Oh, Scotland. Oh, right.
Yeah. Walking Brazil.
They were
Very good.
sober as well. Yeah, it's great.
The two jocks on Boxing
Two
Day.
jocks on Boxing Day. Cheers,
Fantastic.
guys. Thank you very much for that.
No, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Tony, very much from Seckford Golf Club. What was it like playing over Christmas? Because that's coming up for the lads now, isn't it? What was it like? Games come in quick fire, quick succession, don't they? Can you remember those days?
Yeah,
What's Christmas Day like? You're not allowed to eat or drink too much, or
fantastic. I
That's
must
a good
just tell
laugh,
you,
Terry.
I played when I played at Southampton. I played with a goalkeeper called John Burridge, and John was an absolute lunatic. And his wife had disappeared on holiday over Christmas. And my wife said, "Listen, after training, bring John back to ours, and we'll have Christmas lunch together." And I said, "No, he's a lunatic. He's mad. He's off his rocker. He's a nightmare to be around." She said, "Russell, I'm not having anybody have Christmas Day on their own. Bring him back after training with you, and he'll have Christmas lunch with us." I said, "But I've got my mum, I've got my sister, I've got my sister-in-law, there's you in the house, and kids." And we trained. We went and had a couple of pints of Guinness on the way back, which didn't help. Walked in the house, a little glass of wine, and Louise said, "Dinner's not quite ready yet. We'll have a game of charades." So John jumped up. He said, "Well, I'll go first." And all the girls were sat around the sofa, and he stood just in front of them, about 2 yards away from them, my mum, my sister, sister-in-law, and everybody. And he's gone, "It's a film, 4 words." And he suddenly dropped his trousers, dropped his boxer shorts, turned around, bent over, and pulled the cheeks of his backside apart. And the film was Man in the Moon. And all the girls are falling backwards and everything. And it got worse from there.
Right. Okay. Fantastic.
So that's what can go wrong on a Christmas day if you go training
yeah. How did
first.
you play the next day?
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What about you, Terry? What are your
You
memories of those
you
days?
see the 1980 game. We had to play the next day after the Boxing Day. We played 2 games in a row.
26th, 27th.
Wow.
Who do we play the next day? Arsenal?
Maybe Arsenal. Arsenal away,
Arsenal, I
wasn't
think,
it?
yeah.
We drew that. Was it 1-1? We drew it.
2 games in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you had to do then, obviously you played the game on the Boxing Day. and then you're home. There's no restrictions on the food you have, and I love the Boxing Day meal. So I thought, well, I better be careful with my drink, the booze, and after because you don't want to have too much because
that makes a change for you.
So I restricted myself to 2 beers that night, and I really enjoyed the 2 beers, and I was itching to have more, but I couldn't. And it was the first time I'd only ever drunk two beers for a meal. So you have to make sacrifices, don't you? So we did, yeah. It was come the end of the game, you're absolutely shattered.
Yeah.
Because remember, the pitches that you played on were poor pitches anyway. So it was a test for us. I'd like to see the players today do that.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. But we enjoyed it.
Did you have a Christmas bonus? One of the books that Terry Hunt put together, who used to be the editor of the East Anglian Daily Times, I'm pretty certain it was in one of his books. There's a picture, I think it was Millsy, holding a turkey. And so a local butcher's, bearing in mind we're looking at, the equivalent of Premier League footballers then, compared to today, and the Christmas bonus was a local butcher bringing everybody a turkey.
Yeah, we used to get a turkey down in a few of the clubs, in Bristol in particular. I remember one day, and they gave us a Christmas turkey on Christmas morning when we went in training, which was a bit pointless. It was a bit late then, isn't it? And on the way home, for some reason, I saw a homeless fella at the top of Park Street in Bristol, and I stopped and gave him my turkey. And I thought, quite a nice gesture. And I went home and told the wife I'd just given away my turkey. And she said, "What's he going to do with that then?" You're giving the man a frozen turkey. He's got no kitchen. He's got no cooker.
Well, the thought was there, Russ.
I said, but he could have sold it on for whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get a bonus, and I think some of the clubs we've been to, there's sometimes a hamper, sometimes some wine or beers or something like that. But you generally got something. It was very nice.
What would they get now? A Rolex or something?
Yeah, 2 or 3, I think. Yeah.
Probably one for each arm.
A Ferrari, I would think. Yeah. Not Antonio anymore. Anyway.
No, nasty accident.
And we wish him well.
Yeah, we do indeed. Right, and I'm looking for a couple of volunteers here in the capacity crowd because we have no special guest and we have no Chambo this week because it's just a week before Christmas and everybody's really busy. So it's time for our Table Football Challenge, sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics. So, Terry and Russell, we're looking for volunteers. We've got one stepping forward. We need one more stepping forward. Come on. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Get some balls in your hands. Won't be the first time. Chambo's still top of the league with 5. I've given up writing anybody else at the moment because he's just romped away with it with 5. So this is how it goes. On my whistle, you have 60 seconds to score as many goals as you conceivably can against our 2 England's stars, Terry and Russell. So 60 seconds, and we're kicked off. It's a cagey game at the moment. Cagey game. Terry and Russell defending hard, shooting out from the back. Oh, it's a very gentle game here. There's a lot of passing around here. It's not the frenetic. Oh, it's 1-0. 1-0 to our guests from the capacity crowd. Come on, you've got to get another 4 to equal Chambo. It's about how many goals you score. It doesn't matter if you let them in. It's about how many you score. Time from some midfield play now. You've got 30 seconds left. 2-0. Come on, boys. 2-0 against Terry and Russell. 2-0. Come on, you've got another 20 seconds or so to get another 2 or 3 goals. 2-0 at the moment to our capacity crowd against Terry and Russell. 2-0. Oh, it's a good shot, saved by the defence. Saved by our England defenders. They're trying to play it out from the back. Still 2-0. Well done to the capacity crowd. Well done, boys. Well done. Absolutely fantastic. Chambo's still in the lead at 5. How did he get 5 past you, boys?
Because he spun. That was what it was.
He spun, did he? I think he started before the whistle, actually, as well.
Should have been VAR there.
Yeah.
Really should have been.
Yeah, never mind.
If you take 3 off, that'll be good.
Just change. He'll notice when he comes back. Time for On This Day in History, sponsored by Fred Olsen Logistics.
Right, on this day, I'm going to start on the 10th of December and go all the way back to 1952 when Ipswich destroyed Bradford City 5-1 in an FA Cup second-round replay in Suffolk. City featured future England and Somerset cricket captain Brian Close in their ranks, who had made his Test debut against New Zealand 3 years earlier. Played with him for the Lord's Taverners one day.
Oh, right.
Lovely
There was a
fella.
lot of that, wasn't there? Mickey Lambert was like that, wasn't he? Cricket and football?
Yeah, good player. Right, moving on. Wednesday, the 10th of December, 1980. In icy and dangerous conditions, which manager Bobby Robson described as downright dangerous, Town slalomed into the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup despite losing on the night against Zulots.
Easy for you to say.
It is. With constant snow falling and most of the outfield players playing in tracksuit bottoms and gloves, which pitch lines marked in orange, Pieta's 55th minute strike was the only goal of the night. Town were elated to progress with no injuries against a team who had earlier knocked out Juventus and Manchester United. They were not a bad side.
And the beat wore just a normal kit with a short sleeve shirt and a pair of shorts. No tights or.
So everybody's
or
got tracksuit bottoms on
tracksuit.
and he's just normal kit.
Yeah.
And
was
then
a monster, wasn't he?
Saturday, the 11th of December, 1976. Town on a run of 13 unbeaten games were 1-0 down at St James's Park. The game with Newcastle United was abandoned at half-time due to a frozen pitch. The replayed Division 1 game saw Johnny Walk earn a point for the Blues. Saturday, the 11th of December, 2004, former QPR mascot Darren Curry scored on his Blues debut as Town defeated the Hoops 4-2 at Loftus Road. And that is all that happened on this day or the day before.
Just how cold was it in Lots?
Oh,
It was freezing. It was really bad.
Poland, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Poland, but it was memorable because it was John Lennon died that week, and we were singing the Beatles songs all the way back to the airport, which was about a 3-hour drive. So it was memorable that way. I think we had some vodka or something on with some alcoholic drink. So we drank a few bottles of that duty free. So that was very nice. So we were flying before we actually took off.
Yeah, it was a bit of a scary old trip, really, because it was hard enough staying on your feet playing the game and then travelling back to the airport. Afterwards, the Trevor Curtin, the kit man, he travelled in a separate van that left the road on a couple of occasions.
Twice,
so
It crashed.
we sort of waved at him as we went by.
Oh, right, okay.
So it was a bit of a hairy ordeal all the way round.
Disappointingly,
Why was it not called off then? Why was? I guess because you had to get back. And
fixture list and stuff like that, and it was.
so
they
you
couldn't
will play.
Yeah, they couldn't guarantee that we were able to play it the following week.
But you never
or-
did. You never did call games off in UEFA competitions. It was you just played.
Yeah.
Whatever the conditions were, you just played. That would never ever have been played. It was
Like some of the American football games you see, they're playing in all weathers, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you go on YouTube and watch it, it's fascinating because literally the players could hardly stand up. And you're trying to move to your left or your right, and one foot's going that way, the other foot's going the other way, and treacherous.
But now we've got central. It's not central heating. We've got under soil heating at the ground. We
There was some central
there's
heating around that ground on times.
there's no danger of that now, which is you sort of think that you wouldn't normally have that, but there's obviously regulations that insist that you do. But it was they were pretty scary conditions when it came around to this time, wasn't it? There's a lot of snow, a lot of ice, especially. And
It'd be nice when you get the call from the local radio station to say,
Yeah.
can you come and help sweep the pitch and sweep the surrounding areas and all that kind of stuff?
We had to go onto the pitch. Remember after games with the young players, the apprentices or whatever they call them. You had to then go onto the main pitch and stamp down the pitch so that it was so if it did freeze.
Yeah.
Then it would be level
Safe.
rather than with all the divots and everything else. So we had to be out there. I remember Stan and Wiggy, the groundsmen, they were out there. So we didn't get anything. Didn't even get a cup of tea after the game. You had to do it. A few players snuck off a bit early, but
But
yeah,
if the
Happy
pitch
days.
was flat
yeah.
and frozen, that was
played.
okay. You played on it.
Yeah.
Near the wall, very little short leather studs that have got nails in them.
Lovely.
File those down.
Terry's favourite.
My favourite. Yeah.
Or you wore AstroTurf shoes, which is just about came on the market. And the club kept a big bag of these AstroTurf boots that you were only allowed to use them in an emergency like that on a match day if the pitch was frozen. So just before the game, everybody's throwing these boots all over the place. Some are tied together, and you're trying to find a pair. This is like an hour before kickoff, a pair that actually fit.
Yeah.
It was mad,
It was scary, but there we are. That's what it was.
Just a bit different now, isn't it? That's for sure.
And you sometimes put a bit of Vaseline on your knees and elbows just in case. It's like playing on the AstroTurf, wasn't it? The early AstroTurf. So, wow.
Interesting days. Can we give a big shout out and a big round of applause? We talk about Ipswich Town women. Joe Sheehan's been nominated for Manager of the Month for November. So well done, Joe. Well done, Joe. And if they beat the Cherries, they'll get to take on Manchester City away in the Women's FA Cup, which will be
fantastic. Quite
a fixture. Yeah. And you wouldn't bet against them at the moment either, the way they're playing. Incredible.
Well, they've been there before, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, and lost, obviously. But
yeah.
No, I think they're in a better state now.
They certainly are. The Man v Fat results. A bad week for the Man v Fat lads with a group gain this week.
Ooh.
Try to motivate the guys if you possibly can, says Man v Fat Mark. We have set a team target of 500,000 steps for the week, which will earn them a bonus goal if they manage to do that. This week's results are Wickham Waddlers 4, Ivory Toast 1, the Red Hot Chubby Fellas 4, the Red Cat Funts 10,
Go on, the Funts.
Borussia Munchen Flapjack 6, Galatasaray 2, L'Argentina 10, Dinamo Kebab 7. Best wishes to Town on Saturday. Let's take a look against Wolverhampton. Your thoughts on that one, boys? It's a 3-pointer, 6-pointer, 9-pointer, 12-pointer. There's a lot resting on this, I think.
Yeah, there is. I mean, they've had 3 defeats in a row, so the same as us. So, yeah, but they have won 2 games, and one more than us. But yeah, it is a big game. They're all big games, and they're all games that you say, well, we want them to win, and we expect them to win to a certain degree. But I think I'm still confident that they can get out of it. I just think every club in the part of the season has a run. Sometimes not so long, but sometimes it is a run, and we've been threatening that. The three matches undefeated, the 2 draws and the win. That was, and you sort of think you've got to build on that and keep going on that. And unfortunately, that's not been the case. But this is a really, really good one. And then I think it's Newcastle after that at home,
yeah.
And it's at home. I mean, the venue's great and tailor-made, and Newcastle will come out at you. And I just think there is a run in them, and a good run. And I think they've got to be more ruthless, and I think they will be. And I still fancy them to survive. So we'll look forward to that.
Russ?
3 out of the next 4 away from home, yeah. I think it's purely down to how we play. I don't think we need to worry about who's going to be playing for Wolves or who's going to be playing for Arsenal or Chelsea or Newcastle. It's down to sort of getting our own performances right and making sure we do our utmost to play how we want to play and just get on with it. And sometimes you can read too much into looking at the opposition. Not that I'm saying Kieran does that, but we all talk about the opposition and who you want to see play against who, but purely focus on getting your settled side, try and get the right selection process. Hopefully we get a couple of lads back from injury and makes the bench a bit stronger and a bit nicer and more options for Kieran to choose from.
Well, we always said that, and I think every team has said that it's all about us. It's all about how we play, and Russell's exactly right. And they have the ability to cope, and they have the ability to create chances. Just got to take them there. Be harder and stronger at both ends, but they're well capable of doing that. So we look forward to that, and it'll be great when it does happen.
That defeat on Sunday, though, will have knocked them, won't it? To lose in the manner that we did, cruising towards, a first home win. I mean, that's going to knock your confidence.
Yeah, it'll knock your confidence, but you look at why it happened, and there's been a few occasions, and we speak about it quite regularly, that we have a mistake, followed by a mistake, followed by another mistake. And goals usually come from not one mistake, but at least 2 mistakes. And that's what we've got to cut out. When somebody makes a mistake late on in the game, the teammates have got to just put the ball into the town centre, put it out the ground, and just say, right, let's just like regroup. And if we can start doing that a little bit more and get a little bit more confidence in how we see the games out, which we've done before because we've been through this scenario when we're in League One and when we're in the Championship, and we're going through it again now, we will get there.
And we've got Connor back scoring.
Yeah,
that's a big thing. I think now that'll lift the boys as well.
Yeah,
but they've done it before. They've had defeats and disappointing defeats and bounced back. They have that mental strength to do that. They've shown that. They just got to continue doing it. And
fantastic.
I think they will.
Well, let's hope they do. We're looking forward to talking about 3 points next week for our special show. Don't forget, if you want to book up to come and see us, there are only 20 tickets left. By the time you listen to this or watch it, they might have already gone. So go on to the website, www.lifesapitch.tv. I think they're £38, £38.50 or something like that. Christmas dinner, get to spend the evening with the boys here and Chambo and Matt Holland and Ogbene, and our capacity crowd will be about 160 strong, I think. So, yeah, fantastic.
Blue Army.
Yeah, upper town, all that kind of stuff.
And you as well.
Yeah, I'm there. I'll just keep it going.
Santa.
All right, so I've shaved off because you said that last week. I was looking a bit like Santa Claus. I know it's a bit grey. Anyway, thank you, boys, very much. Thank you to our capacity crowd. Give yourself a big round of applause. We really will have a capacity crowd for our next show, and that will be filmed at Venue 16 on Monday the 16th of December. So lifesapitch.tv to get your last few tickets for that. You'll have a great night. From all of us here on lifesapitch.tv, here's to a nice win at the weekend. 2 words to finish. Blue Army, everybody! Blue Army! 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 Blue Army!
This has been a Life's a Pitch TV production. Main sponsor, DPS Tech. Also supported by Lakens, All About Hearing, Forward Floors, Ginger Pickle, Fred Olsen Logistics, The Dove, Seckford Golf Club, Ashford Wright, John Keeble Cars, Venue 16, The Hudson Group, Come Hither Design, Sound 4 Pro Audio, and Suffolk Sound. Our charities this year: Cancer Support Suffolk and the Ipswich Town Community Foundation.